A lot of these tips I'm giving you, they're just regular person, not like, oh, as a creator, this is what people do. No, so many people say they don't have time to read, but if you check your screen time, baby, you have time to read. Hi friends, welcome back. And if you are new here, welcome. My name is Joyce, and you already know from the title what we are getting into today. I always get asked how I read so many books. How do I make time to read when I am busy? I'm a mom, and just like you guys, I wear multiple hats. I have an intrinsic motivation to read. I love it. And just like anybody else, anything that you love and that you enjoy, you prioritize it. So I want to share 10 tips. These 10 things helped me to read more books or to prioritize reading. So without further ado, let us get into these 10 tips. So the first tip that I have for you is to read what you want to read, not what the internet tells you to read. And that is a huge one. Although people are giving their recommendations and people are sharing their experience with the book, it is so important to remember that you may not have that same experience, and that's fine. It's okay. That is the beautiful part of reading. We are all having different experiences. We are all pulling and taking different things as we read. We are all reading for different reasons and different genres. And so we're just all going to have different outlooks and opinions once we finish a book. And that's fine. It's so easy to just want to read what other people are talking about. Believe me, I have been a victim of that as well. And I think it's okay to just find a healthy balance. So that is the tip that I have for you. Go to the library, go to the bookstore, look on Goodreads or Storygraph or whatever you use to track your books, and just research books that sound good to you. It is okay to get recommendations from other people, but trust your gut, trust your instinct. Like, you know what you like. You like what you like for a reason. And so don't rely on the internet to constantly tell you the type of books that you need to consume. So my next tip is to make it a part of your routine. So for me, I have to read before bed. It's just how I like to wind down. It's how my mind is now set up, that like I get in the bed, the book is right there that I'm reading, I open it and I read it. I have that same type of mindset in the morning. Even if it's my Bible, before I get out of bed, I'm reading the devotion or the scripture of the day. And then once I'm up and I'm moving, then I'm reading a nonfiction book to help with like my mindset in the morning. So I have created a routine, a habit with the style of books I read and what times I like to read them. It doesn't matter to me how many pages I read it, as long as I read every single day. So you have to decide what that habit looks like for you. If that's going to be just in the morning for you for a few minutes, that's fine. Try that out. If you're not a morning person, you're busy, you're hustling, you're getting the kids ready, packing lunches, you got to get to work, maybe the morning doesn't work for you. But before bed, it is so nice. It's so good. Even if it's 10 minutes, it could be a chapter. It can be a few pages. My husband, he has started to do it, and it's so sexy. And he will read his book, even if it's a couple pages, every single night. And I love that for him. I love that for us. So yeah, just make it fun. Create a routine around it. See what works best for you. Maybe you read on your lunch break, I don't know. This is a very good way to make it just a part of your everyday lifestyle. The next tip, my favorite tip, and that is to listen to audiobooks. I know that some people do not like that, and that is okay. That just may not be a tip that works well for you, but it works fantastic for me. I am busy. I have a lot to do every single day. I am constantly in the car, picking up kids, dropping kids off, taking kids here, going there. My daughter's away at college, so if I'm going to her game, after school activities, driving yourself to and from work. So I spend a lot of hours in the car, a lot. And so I will listen to music sometimes, but for the most part, I consume a lot of audiobooks when I'm driving. I will also listen to audiobooks when I'm getting dressed in the morning, putting on my makeup, doing my skincare routine, if I'm making dinner, doing chores. It just helps like a mundane task to go by so much quicker if you are just immersed in like a really good story. So I like audiobooks. Don't get me wrong. I love physical books. I love the ritual and the routine that you get with a physical book, sitting down, getting cozy, turning real pages. I love it. I'm absolutely here for it as well. But if I want to hit the goals that I have, and if I want to read as many books as I have set out to read this year, I have to consume some of these things via audio. And if you don't like audio, you can also do Kindle. I noticed I can even read a lot faster on my Kindle as well. So if you're not an audio girl, you can also try Kindle, but audio, Kindle, these are golden in if you want to hit your goal. And I absolutely hate the people that are like, oh, that's not really reading, when there are lots of people with disabilities, which that's the only way that they will ever be able to consume a book. They may not ever be able to read it, but they can listen to it. And so if that's how they're reading, then that's how they're reading. And so, you know, it kind of bothers me. People are like, oh, it's not reading. It's not reading. It's reading for me. Okay. I've had the experience. I've gained the knowledge, and I'm checking it as read off my list. So it's reading. So another really good tip is to bring a book with you. You have the book with you, you are more inclined to read it. Same thing goes for the Kindle. A lot of people bring their Kindle with them. I don't actually have a Kindle, so I use an iPad and I have the Kindle app, and I prefer it that way because my iPad is so big. However, we always have our phone these days. So I do have the Kindle app on my phone as well. I will read from my phone, which is not my favorite. It's not my favorite because it's such a smaller screen. However, I am able to get more reading done. If I'm in line at the drive-thru, instead of scrolling social media, I'm able to read a Kindle book. I'm at the hair salon, I'm under the dryer or something like that. Instead of scrolling social media, I'm reading my Kindle book. It's just a really good way for you to swap out your screen time. Guarantee, if you pause this video and go look at your screen time, you have time. So many people say they don't have time to read, but if you check your screen time, baby, you have time to read. So you just gotta prioritize it. I still do a lot of other stuff from my phone. So like some of your screen time, I get it, it's warranted. But if we're being honest, our phones are a major distraction. They just are. Put it to good use. It has your books right there in your hand. That is another way that I am able to get a lot more reading done. I usually read from my Kindle app on my phone, or I'm obviously listening to audiobooks from my phone as well. The next tip that I have for you is to read more than one book at a time. I am generally reading more than one book at a time. I am listening to something, reading a nonfiction book, and I am reading a regular contemporary fiction, romance, mystery, thriller, whatever, a physical book. And then I usually have, not all the time, but sometimes something that I can access on the Kindle as well. So that's 3 books. I would say do like 2 to 3, but generally 3 is like the most that I'll do at a time. But I have caught myself reading at least 4 books at a time because I'm just a mood reader. I'm a hot mess. It's fine. It's totally fine. But give it a try. Try to read more than one book. And then before you know it, you're like, oh, okay, I done got through 3 books this week. The next tip I have for you is to try a new genre. And if you don't want to try a new genre, try a novella. So those are almost 2 different things, but it's fine. I lumped them together because that's what I'll do. I'll read a novella because it's so quick. Anytime you complete a goal or you complete a task, you have this great sense of satisfaction. And so a novella, they're like very small. They're so short. They're under 100 pages or a little bit over. You can just get it knocked out really quickly, get immersed in a story real quick, and then boom, you're done. So I would try a novella. That's how you can, get some more books read. You can also just try a new genre. Sometimes we stay in our safe little bubble. For me, that is contemporary fiction. That was my safe little bubble. But then I was like, oh, you know what? I can whip through some mystery thrillers because they're so fast paced. I can gobble that thing up in a couple days. So I was happy that I tried a new genre because then I was able to see how much faster I was able to get through books. Same thing with fantasy. I don't get through fantasy books fast, but you end up reading so many more books because most fantasy books are like in a series. And so it's like if you like that first one, it hooks you and then you just keep on reading. And keep on reading because you're invested in these characters and their world, and it's just really cool. So try a new genre. Sometimes that helps to just shock your brain and just, stimulate you in a different way, get you excited about something new, and you may end up even liking it. So just give it a try and see if it works for you. The next one, oh baby, I will do it. And it is to DNF a book. Yes, DNF in a book is self-care, darling. You keep reading a book and it's just not connecting. You're not vibing with it. You will start to feel so miserable while you are reading and you'll feel tortured. You'll feel like it's a task. You may even get into a slump and nobody has time for that. There are millions of books in this world. There is something else out there waiting for you that you actually love, that you actually will enjoy and that you will have a connection with. So DNF that book, please. I know that some people, they just don't do it. And I was that person. I am not going to lie. I felt horrible. I'm like, first of all, I spent my money on this book. Second of all, someone took their time to write this. And, I just want to give them the benefit of the doubt. This is me. This is my own thought process. And I was just like miserable when I was reading some of these books. And I was just like, you know what? I can't. I just can't. I'm not going to do this. This is not good for my mental health. I don't do this in anything else. Like if I'm watching TV and I'm over it, I change the channel. I get up. If the movie is not good, you just don't finish it. You fall asleep. It's like whatever. So I don't know why we are so critical on ourselves when it comes to books. We just are. We will abandon anything else. Like we really will. Like hobbies, think about it. Like if it's not for you, you just don't continue on with that thing anymore. But for some reason with books, we just have such a hard time doing that. But let me implore you, darling, DNF the book. If you DNF more books, you can move on to more books that you actually enjoy. So my next tip is actually a very fun one, and this really helped me. And it is to just make it fun. Get cute little accessories like headphones, cute bookmarks. Make it something that you are very excited to do. For me, I love to watch adaptations and read at the same time, or I'll read and then watch. I love it. I also really like playlists. I didn't know that was something I like. That is how I am able to enhance the experience. It just does something for me. I'm like, okay, this is a vibe. So I urge you to try different things. The playlist, the TV shows, read with a friend. I love that. I love reading books with my friends. Buddy reading is my jam. Buddy reading also holds you accountable. You guys can talk about the books and get excited about it. It's just so much fun. That is another reason I am able to get more books done, is because I enhance the experience. I have created and cultivated all these fun little rituals around reading. So it's just something that I really do enjoy, and hopefully these tips will help you to enjoy them just as much. The next habit that I have for you is to habit stack it, which I learned from Atomic Habits. Baby, pair with something that you actually want to do. That is how you will get more reading done. People love their morning coffee. So you can stack it with that. You can get your physical book, get your coffee, start your own ritual, your own experience. That's your thing. It's like, all right, if I'm going to have my coffee, I need to have my book too. Doesn't even matter if you read 2 pages. There was a post I seen. Let me see if I can find it really quick. Found it. It says reading 20 pages per day equals 30 books per year. That's wild. So even if you're reading 10 pages per day or 5 pages per day, at the end of the year, you're still going to read way more books than you set out to do if you just make very small changes. So stack it with something else that you like to do. Get your book and, get on your treadmill, or, pop it on and get the dishes done, or just whatever. Stack it with something that you are already doing, and then it just becomes second nature for you to grab a book or listen to a book as you do your regular everyday task. And the last tip that I have is to challenge yourself. Have fun with it. Read a little bit more than you did the previous day, or the previous month, or the previous year. Keep it small, keep it simple, keep it attainable. And I want you to remember, if you're reading 0 and you've moved up to 1, that's reading more. If you read 1 book and now you read 2, that's reading more. You don't need to read 50, 100, 80, 200. You do not need to read that many books. On average, I forgot what the stats were, but there is still a significant amount of people who do not read books. They don't. The fact that you are encouraged to read more, that is a great place to be. But challenges are so fun, whether you are a creator or not. Challenge yourself to read 20 pages a day, or read 5 books by June. I don't know. Whatever it is, challenge yourself. Anytime we challenge ourselves, we are more inclined to get the task done. That is why challenges work. I don't care if it's a 1-hour read with me, a reading sprint. If you join a book club, that's also a great tip. So there's a bonus one. Just challenge yourself. Challenge yourself to read a couple pages, and I promise you a couple pages will go a long way. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed today's video. I hope that you enjoyed the tips that I've shared with you. Share any tips for me in the comments down below that have helped you hit your reading goals much faster, or just read more books in general. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. I just read because I like reading. Like, I don't know how many pages. Read Atomic Habits if you have not. Now, I'm not saying that you need to try fantasy. Now, it can be also a bad thing, because then I'm staying up all night reading until wee hours in the morning. Maybe it's romance for you that you need to try. I don't watch a lot of TV. Maybe it's mystery thriller. I've gotten so many recommendations, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, you like this book? My TV, my form of entertainment, it is reading. And I mean, no shade to that person. That's their jam. That's their genre. That's their vibe. Man, I need some water.